Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my live. I thought I'd come spontaneously. I thought I'd come spontaneously and just to bring messages in from Spirit. I can see I've got company behind me right now. So I thought I'd just come live, and just sit here and connect and see what Horus and my team are bringing in. Yes, I've got company here. Right. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm just going to sit in my power for a minute, just to sit here, just bring this beautiful energy in. Okay, first and foremost, I'm just going to pull up cards that I'm getting drawn to right now. This is what I'm being shown. So first and foremost, I'm just going to go to one of my tarot decks. So I'm going to pull that up. This has actually been a very powerful card for me, actually. So this is the Grail Cup. And the energy is changing as I'm actually showing this to you. The energy is absolutely changing. So as I'm looking at this beautiful Grail Cup, I'm actually, as I say, I get a lot of gold coming in. A lot of gold comes in around me when my team are coming through. So as I'm looking at this Grail, I'm not going to read this in a conventional tarot way. I'm just going to start channeling. So when I'm looking at the Grail, I look at the Divine Feminine. And the Divine Feminine, in terms of, here we go, it's the Grail. So the Grail is very much, for me, represents the Divine Feminine, and it is very much the Divine Feminine energy that's coming in very strongly with this particular card. And as we're looking at this, right, and I'm getting the Divine Feminine coming in, we are here, the great big strong message for the Divine Feminine at this time is to connect with your inner self. And when we look at the inner, we look at bringing that fountain of knowledge coming through. And also the dove of peace coming in represents peace. I'm also picking up the energy that's coming in at this time with Mother Earth. And with Mother Earth, challenges taking place. I'm feeling a lot of healing energy coming through. And as we are looking at the peace, the dove of peace, I want to say, as we are going into our inner selves, we need to embark on our inner peace. The more that we work upon our inner selves, we're able to display this beautiful love and peace energy out into Mother Earth. So this is about a contemplation, very much the Divine Feminine feeling that I get, and it's very much the golden energy coming in. I'm also getting the cup of wisdom as well. We need to bring in that knowledge, that wisdom, and the more that we go into our inner peace and connectivity, we're able to bring in that knowledge and that wisdom coming in from spirit, coming in from our higher selves. So the more that we're able to embrace our inner, we're able to bring in that higher knowledge and wisdom. So I'm just picking up cards now. So I'm just going to go into cards. I'm just warming myself up. And then so I just come spontaneously live. I thought, let's go live, and let's see what happens. Right. Okay. This is interesting because this keeps coming up very strongly. That was sitting at the top of my card and I just shuffled it up and I just split the deck. So Jaguar Spirit, this is interesting. Spirit are actually, my team are actually saying, got a very strong message about the feline energy coming in this particular year. This particular year is the year of the tiger, but this one is coming in as Jaguar. Okay, and often or not, when I'm connecting with a Jaguar, I often find I get drawn to the spots. I'm actually feeling it is about change. However, the Jaguar is telling us not to resist change. This is what I'm picking up. Jaguar Spirit is about change. But obviously, there's a saying, a leopard won't change its spots. But we have to keep moving with the change. We have to keep moving with the time. The timelines are changing. So, that is a very important card for this current energy. The tiger comes in to empower us in our spiritual growth and evolution. So this particular year in itself is very powerful, potent energy, especially with the full moon in Leo coming up next week. That is, again, another prominent feline energy coming through the moon. So, again, this is very much working with the feminine as well. The feminine energy, empowering the feminine energy. The Lionsgate Portal is also going to be prominent this year as well. The energy is very prominent. We're in the year of 6, and the year of 6 enables us to empower ourselves. It is about the connection with the timelines, because 6 is about nurturing, self-growth, self-evolution, working with our Akashic Records, because 6 is very much the Akashic code. So the more that we work upon ourselves, whether it be our shadows, whether it be our inner child, the inner child is very much prominent at this time. We are being invited to work upon our inner child. So all this coming in, you know, a lot of energy is going to come in this particular year of 6. So if you look at that in numerology terms, and certainly for myself, because I'm a life path 6 myself, I'm also working feline, so, and Leo, so the energy even for myself is very, very strong. So anyone that's working on the life path 6, you know, this particular year is going to be very strong. So a lot of spiritual growth, and what I'm getting is transformation, transmutation, transcending. So the more that we empower ourselves to go on our inner and into our inner, the more that we're able to connect, we can then bring ourselves up into a higher sphere. This is the feline energy is very powerful. The Lionsgate this year is going to be very poignant with certain planetary shifts. They're telling me certain planetary shifts. I'm also getting the 666 gateway that will be taking place in June as well, and also I'm getting next week will be 222222. So a lot of the 2s and a lot of the 6s coming in, and Again, when we're looking at the two energies, we're looking at the integration of polarity, bringing ourselves back into oneness. And again, multiplying those twos. If we look at 2, 2, let's have a look. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So we've got 5 sets of twos, so that brings us up to 10, and then 10 brings us back into oneness and 0 point. So what does 0 point mean? That's bringing ourselves back into neutrality, and back into that center point. So when we're actually at center point, we become neutral. So I'm going to see what else they're going to give to me. I'm going into different decks. So I just pulled up a card out of the of that particular deck there. So I'm now going to go to the elemental. So I'm being drawn to working with the animals and the elements right now, because it's about bringing balance to Mother Earth. Right now it is the balance, and again, if we look at the Grail Cup and we go like this, it's about the balance. Okay, so it's about the balance. So let me go to the elemental. I'm going to the elemental card deck, which is that particular one now. So I never know which one's going to come out of this, because often or not, when I'm connecting with this particular deck, it's very much about the Earth Mother. Okay, so right, I've been told to go to the 11th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is interesting. Atoms. Okay, so this is, to me, this is atoms. And when I'm connecting with atoms, it's about taking yourself back to the beginning. And again, it's bringing ourselves back to center point, to 0, to neutrality, to being... because what do we mean to set 0, neutrality, center point? It brings us back there. So that means when we're in that we start beginning to see things from a higher purpose. We don't get involved with left and right, you know, yin and yang, because we know that we're able to bring and integrate the whole lot, including the masculine and feminine principle. So I'm going to say now, this is interesting because it's 4, 0. Okay, so, and we got atoms. So as we are bringing ourselves back into the 0 point, we become more cosmically aware, we become more connected to spirit world, we become more, you know, when we go into that neutrality, we understand a much higher purpose. As I'm now connecting with the atoms, I'm actually seeing, I'm seeing from cosmic point that there are certain shifts taking place at this time that is impacting on Mother Earth, and what I'm seeing is there's going to be a shift with Saturn again. So with Saturn, I'm picking up Saturn very heavily at the moment. Saturn's going to make its shift back from Capricorn into Aquarius, and around April time, I'm seeing a retrograde with Saturn. So what does Saturn mean? It's karmic again. So again, a lot of the karmic. So we are being invited to look within ourselves to clear any karmic patterns. Again, year 6 and karma is all about the Akashic Records. And the more that we connect within ourselves, and it's about working with our Akashic Records. It's not about knowing who we are, who we were. It's about making sure that we are benefiting from the highest possible healing and growth. So often or not, the Akashic Records will serve two primary points. One is about healing, and healing of any timelines, anything that's affecting us in the now, that any patterns, and sometimes we have what you call ancestral patterns that may be affecting us in this now. Certain karmic situations that can even be coming in from past life situations. So things like that is surfacing up now for it to be healed, because the primary aim of connection to the Akashic Records, from spirit point of view, spirit will show us the Akashic Records and areas that we need to be working on, is the area of healing. But also when we're looking at past lives and our past lives, we are able to also gather knowledge of our gifts, and those certain gifts then get activated within ourselves, and that's certain elements that I've been shown in trance state, working with Horus and my team. And certainly Horus is he comes in through trance. I'm actually shown past life stuff in spirit induced trance. So when he does that, we're looking at timelines. We're looking at timelines that I'm asking him, okay, what areas do I need to look at here? We're working on certain timelines, could be shifted and healed. But he also is showing through the transfiguration states and also in partial manifestation that he's also the master of his own Akashic record. He's a master of his own Akashic record. So a lot of people who have seen me work with Horus in the Akashic field in transfiguration states will see Horus, he will change form like that. A lot of mediums have seen him come through as a spirit guide, and he changes form just like that. And that's him saying, well, this is who I am, this is who I've incarnated as. So I'm actually taking ownership of my Akashic records from spirit points. And when spirit comes through and do that, and they have the ability to change their form just like that, to say this is who I am, that's truth. So this is where we're coming in. It's bringing ourselves back into the center point where we're able to gather our knowledge, gather our abilities, gather our gifts, giving ourselves the highest form of healing, and also able to clearing our timelines, whether it be through the past life gateway or through the ancestry, and if there's any ancestry patterns that need to be cleared and shifted. So that's what I'm picking up right now, certainly with certain forthcoming planetary shifts, and also connecting that with this particular year cycle. there's also certain things that because we are, what I'm seeing is there's going to be a shift out of certain timelines that affected us within the last couple of years. So in terms of how the planet has been in its status quo with regards to COVID and other aspects of the Earth, and how the Earth is rotating and evolving, it's kind of shifting us as humanity into a much higher octave. The planet in itself is vibrating at such a high level in terms of frequency. Certain areas of the Earth are vibrating at much higher level compared to other areas of the Earth. However, the octave of Mother Earth as a planet is vibrating at such a higher level. It is humanity that needs to catch up with the frequency of the planet as a whole. The only way that humanity can catch that frequency up is by coming into unity consciousness. We as light workers, and when we're working at neutral point, we will have a much wider discernment of messages that are coming in, messages are being shared, the vibration of people when they're coming in, and it could be even programs, you know, and the earth in itself operate on programs, and people are searching. As part of human nature, they will want to search because they're searching for their truths. They're searching because they're on their journey as well. Everybody's on a journey. So some people get comfortable sitting inside a program, whether it be Christianity, whether it be Buddhism, whether it be Krishna, whether it be Native American, or even the New Age. They're all programs. They're all Earth programs, because us humans, we like to be participating in something that can get us to the next level. So, and we're all searching, and we're all searching for those bits and pieces that are resonating with us. When you are working directly with spirit, and you're working with spirit guides, and you're bringing in loved ones, and you know, and working in trance state, and you're bringing in, and you're being that conduit of the two worlds, or shaman. I called it the shaman, where you're dancing up and down the dimensions. So technically, when you're working in that frame, and that's how I work, many of the mediums will work. We're not working psychically, we're working spirit. So we are then outside of that box, where we will see, yes, we can touch base on different points, and you'll see me touching base on, because we embrace the whole. So when we embrace the whole, we say, yeah, we know that, and we know that, and you know, we love that bit of spirituality. That really is very nice. However, we are working pure spirit, and when we work pure spirit, that means we don't sit inside a specific box as such. So this is where sometimes where I'm coming in, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm not part of an Earth program. I work pure spirit, and so forth. So, you know, and in that way, we're in neutral point. And when you're at neutral point, you'll see everything. Yes, yes, yes. And, you know, we can also see certain distortions coming in as well. And sometimes oh, look, distortion alert. Oh, you know, and yeah, we can actually see that, because there's a much higher point when you're working with spirit, and they will say, well, if that was happening, and this is what Horus has said to me because he's my teacher, he will say, well, if that situation is happening, what about that and that over there? So that's how spirit work. And they're not attached, they don't attach themselves to a certain certain program. It's very interesting because as a medium, I work with native spirit guides, and then I go into the native groups, and I'm like, but my native spirit guides are not behaving in this way. They're talking about the wounds of the ancestors. Well, the spirit guides that I have that come in, and even Horus has a native past life. My spirit guides are not wounded, because once they go into that octave where they're actually guiding, and a lot of us mediums actually have spirit guides who are native. We don't see them wounded. We see them giving us wisdom. They're also giving us wisdom about unification. And this is what I'm experiencing. So even from the spirit world, everything's about unity. We're coming into unity. And we're on this Mother Earth. Mother Earth is a plane of learning. So there's a lot of dynamics that come in when we're working from spirit, and that's when I sometimes I'll go into the groups and I'm like, why are you actually saying that the ancestors are wounded? Because the ancestors that I work with that are spirit guides are sure not wounded. They are, these are timelines, and this again, when they talk about that, they could be talking about certain things that I'm talking about in terms of the Akashic Records, that there could be patterns that they need to heal from their own personal ancestry. But it doesn't, if they're going up to the likes of I'm going to go Sitting Bull, Grey Eagle, Running Antelope, Running Bear. I'm going to go with some of the guys that I work with. Geronimo comes, Geronimo. All these native. Some of us will have native guides. Loads of native guides come in, right? And they come in with such wisdom. Black Elk is another one. He's another prominent guide that comes in. So these guides will come in, which they classify as the ancestors. They're not wounded, but it's the perception. It's the perception of the humanity in this current timeline, with what is actually unfolding. There's a lot of karmic retribution taking place, a lot of karmic balancing taking place, a lot of things happening with Mother Earth. There's a lot of things happening with Mother Earth in terms of templates, shifts. I'm also talking about, including certain template shifts that will affect, volcanic activity, for example. And I've actually said I've actually said over the last couple of years there's going to be a lot happening in the Pacific. So if there's a lot of shifts and a balance and imbalances going on like this, it's going to be like this. Okay, so for the Native Americans in this particular now, and I'm going to tie that in with what I've said about the Akashic Records. If they are feeling within themselves pain and anguish because of their lineage going up and certain situations that are unfolding, that is very challenging, and we only have to say with what's going on And I've actually forecasted this myself about native children in the residential homes. So these situations are now surfacing right now as part of the karmic plan, which is Saturn. So things like that will come up and that will surface. It has to be released, that has to be healed. So in this year 6, we're going to be having truths, we're going to be having revelations and so forth. However painful these truths that surface up, how painful, they have to surface up so that they can be released and healed. They're part of timelines coming in to this now. They're part of the timelines that are coming in so that we can shift them, we can heal them. However, humans will have a way of responding to that. So therefore that creates it can create a disturbance, it can create a ripple effect, okay, because they are reacting and acting up. However, once that takes place, it's part of a healing process. So we have to release these timelines. So a lot of truths are coming to the forefront in this now. And it is also tied in with the religions, the institutions, the racial indifferences and so forth. Anything that's created a separation consciousness is surfacing up. The reason why these things will catalyze is it shifts us into a much higher awareness of what is truly taking place. Even though we know history, we know that history, has taken place and certain things have taken place, but these timelines within history are coming up in this now and it's catalyzing. So where I'm talking about that, we're going into the Akashic, we're talking about patterns, we're talking about ancestry and ancestral patterns. That is surfacing up, and this is where this particular year may be another challenge, in a way that we are surfacing up more truths, more situations coming in. I'm also being given by my spirit guide team that there's going to be a lot more ancient wisdom and knowledge surfacing this particular year. That's going to be tying in with certain finds, okay, because it's happening, and I'm going to say that science is on our side in revealing that certain finds are a lot older than what history has already anticipated. And we only have to go to Egypt, we only have to go to South America, where they're uncovering, and now with the technology behind science, that are able to pinpoint more carbon dating. So it actually is good for us in a way where we are consciously bringing stuff to the forefront, because Spirit are bringing that knowledge in. We are able also to actually to determine our evidence when the science is also confirming it. It's just like science has confirmed the Akashic Records, past life, near-death experience, and so forth. So all the spiritual knowledge is being confirmed through science, which is a brilliant thing. So I'm now going to go on. I'm going to go on to this particular deck, and that's work your light. So okay, so this is a bit more of a lighter deck. This is interesting because sometimes when I'm working with earth energy, it takes me down. When I'm working with light energy, it takes me up. So this is why I'm balancing it off, because even with the tarot, it takes me down. So then I like to balance myself up, and I like to go like this. So this is about balancing the energy. So I'm just now going to pull a card out of this particular deck. Say I haven't planned my live. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go live, and I'll just go, right, okay, grant me that wisdom, grant me that wisdom. Okay, but there's a lot of Saturn 6 retrograde, and that's going to be in the first half of this particular year. But that means it's about really connecting with doing our inner work, development, growth, karmic releasing, karmic balancing, and again, it's really understanding where we are truly at in our spiritual journeys. So right, you want number 8. Okay, number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. Priestess. Interesting, because I started the video off talking about the divine feminine, which is when this is interesting. Right, the divine feminine, which is that one. Okay. So we have the priestess. Okay. Now this is very much tying in with when I'm talking about the feline. I'm talking about this. I'm also going to apply this to the masculine as well, because this applies with the masculine, but I'm going to speak a little bit about the feminine and the masculine in a moment. Right, the priestess, again, it's about the divine feminine entering into her power, and the divine feminine entering into that power, bringing in this knowledge and wisdom. I'm getting, it is about attaining your inner gifts and abilities, going back to the old ways. Going back to the old ways, bringing in the sacred knowledge of ancient and applying it into this now. It is about the unification of all sacred knowledge, because the sacred knowledge is scattered right across Mother Earth, in different planes, different temples. We have to unify that. We have to enter into our own inner chalice. And when I say when we enter into our own inner chalice, that means we have to go inwards to receive the knowledge and the wisdom, and to share it out. As I'm connecting upwards, there are shift states taking place at this moment in time. I'm connecting up with the galactic centre and the great central sun. A lot of plasma energy is now coming through from the galactic center. Again, Mother Earth is now shifting up into higher frequency, even higher frequency. This higher frequency can sometimes cause a bit of a ripple effect and certain imbalances with the density. So if human race and situations are happening, can be at a lower density level, so it's how humanity are receiving that energy. So sometimes if you were looking, for example, if you're looking, for example, the ripple effects of Mother Earth, where she's vibrating a higher frequency, and then the governments and institutions wants to go and run pipelines into the planet, we're talking about technology and so forth. So sometimes that can off balance. It is also a responsibility of humanity to actually take care of the planet, and that's what's coming through now. As I'm connecting up, humanity needs to take care of the planet, needs to take more care of the planet. And that comes through awareness. So the role of the light workers is shifting to being more conscious of the needs of Mother Earth, and that is through awareness, you know, of making sure that our waters are purified and so forth, and the trees are maintained and not chopped down and so forth. So we're talking about things that are there that is connecting with Mother Earth. We're talking about taking care of the trees, we're talking about taking care of the water, taking care, you know, of the plants, the crystals, and we are working with Mother Nature as a whole. So, and it is a case of raising awareness of the needs of the actual planet, and that's how we are working, because from spirit perspective, the energy comes in from the galactic center. They are constantly working on the grids and the ley lines. They are constantly working on the grids and the ley lines, but it is humanity that needs to become more into awareness. They need to shift, they need to go into more awareness to the needs of what is needed with a planet. And it could be simple steps of, you know, taking care of the water. You know, don't throw trash into the water, because obviously that also affects the animals. So it's a case of working with animal spirit, working with the elements, working with the trees, working with flowers, plants, crystals, you know, and so forth, and setting those intentions. So this is what I'm picking up. The role of the priestess is to connect. I'm getting to connect in with your inner magic now. I'm actually saying connecting with your inner magic. Connect in with your and empower yourself. Empower yourself to be the best that you can be, so that you can carry out the work and mission that you've been called to. Develop yourself, develop your spiritual growth. They say that my team are saying, they're saying that we understand and understand so many challenges that many face when they are, when they are actually developing and growing. They say it can be very challenging, especially when a soul awakens and they become aware of spirit, and and the gifts and the abilities that they have, and having to integrate that into their everyday life. It can be a challenge, but it's also mastery to balance your newfound gifts and abilities and the abilities that you bestowed from past life that is activating in you, that knowledge that's activating in you. So as you're growing and empowering, they understand it can be very challenging. So you have to do things in incremental steps, they're saying. They're also saying for many who have, certainly for the past couple of years, there's been a challenge for many who've worked in well-being. They understand this. However, there's been a change in energy and the change of working and change and so forth. So they've maintained a status quo, but they are now. There's going to be another energy shift that will enable the practitioners to be able to work more efficiently and effectively and pick up where they were pre-COVID. This is what I'm getting. So there's going to be more events. So again, it is a case of utilising your newfound ways of working and applying your old and so forth. So for those people who are, who've had to adapt to new ways, but there is also adapting back into the swing of things of, applying to events and so forth, and having back into the one-to-one approach on the physical level. So I'm actually, these are messages I'm coming in because there are certain changes coming in this particular year. So what I'm seeing is what has erupted is now beginning to settle and balance. This is interesting because this here has come up very strongly, and it's play. Play. And this is about nurturing your inner child. This has been coming up quite a lot. The inner child. And that means connecting with your the qualities of your childhood. Often when you look at your childhood, we have ups and downs. So what we have to do is we have to make sure that we look at our inner child and look at ways that we can be to serve our inner child, whether that be through creativity, through play, through nurturing, freedom, exercising freedom. I mean, some people like to go horse riding, for example. That's nurturing your inner child. Some people like to express through art, through craft, but doing something that's going to serve you and your inner child, because at the moment a lot of energy is really being focused around the sacral chakra, and the sacral chakra is about balancing yourself out. And when you're balancing yourself out, the inner child comes up, and that's most important. That's taking time for yourself. So in the sacral chakra we have the inner child, but we also have the masculine, feminine, and the balance of energy. So it's very important that we nurture ourselves, and work with our inner child. That is coming up very strongly. So I'm going to now just finish off by just offering up some healing intention and offering healing up to Mother Earth. So I'm so pleased that you're all joining me in this sacred circle. So if you can just join me in the sacred circle just to offer some prayers and intentions of healing. So as we connect in now in this sacred circle, we like to offer up healing to Mother Earth, to all those who are in hospital, to those in care and care homes, to those who have no one to care for them. Offering up healing to those who are in conflict, to those who are facing warfare, to those who are experiencing famine and poverty. I want to give healing now to those who are facing end of life and palliative care, and to those who are bereaved and lost loved ones, to the children, to the animals, to the trees, to the plants, and to Mother Earth as a whole. So it is, and so it is done. Thank you very much. God bless. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me over. I also want to say that I'm also available for readings, healing, mentorship, and I'm also in the process of setting up mediumship and spiritual development circles, which is online. So, you know, if you are interested, please feel free to drop me a line. God bless you all. Good night. Namaste. God bless. Thank you.